What's up, Sooner Nation? Welcome back, Sooner Surge Live. Tuesday night. Thanks for joining us tonight. Appreciate it. As I'm in a little camo, it looks like tonight because I got a green background and here I am in a green shirt. I just noticed it, but hey, I'm not changing. So appreciate you all joining us tonight. I see a lot of y'all already on here. Just got done kind of watching the Thunder with the big win tonight. I know a lot of people will say this game didn't matter. I think it did matter. And you can argue with me if you want. I know Hunter, Jackson, some of you guys are blind to what's going on with the Thunder sometimes, but big win for the Thunder tonight, I think. So in a really kind of a heated game. Game was heated tonight. Kind of felt like a playoff game for a game that didn't matter. Felt like a playoff game. But game changed when Luka got ejected. Game changed. He got knocked out, left the game. Game changed. So Shea had a great game. But yeah, Tuesday night. What's up, Monty? Great statement. Yeah, I thought it was a great statement too, Stevie. Apparently, some people think that game didn't matter. I think it did mentally. Meant a lot, I think, for the Thunder. Needed to get the W. What's up, KB? What's up, 918? Dow Post, Teresa, Chester. What's up, Chester? How you doing? What is going on tonight? What is on your minds tonight? Michael, good to see you on here. Yeah. So I'm on here by myself. I'm going to give you my opinions tonight. What's up, Aaron? Here's my opinions. Yeah, Gibson's hurt. I think a lot of people are upset that Gibson got hurt. But when we were talking last night, and a lot of people were talking about strength and conditioning and different reasons and what it could be, I don't think many people were talking about the Gibson injury. I think it's the other guys that are banged up that people were talking about and what's going on with the wide receiver room. Because one injury from a guy that gets rolled up on or whatever is different. It's the other guys that are banged up, quote, banged up. That's probably more the concern, I think, Michael. Obviously, it's a concern Gibson being out if he broke his leg and how long he's out for most of the year, probably if it's a broken leg. It's frustrating because I think he's going to have a good year. But yeah, so that's kind of my thoughts on it. 918 says broken fibula with some ligament damage, 6-month timeline on his return, which would be what? October, November, maybe something like that. I don't know if you can count on him at all this year. You know what, Aaron, the question is, what is a lot of these injuries caused by? And I don't really want to delve into that tonight. We had that discussion last night. And so, you know what? They got to figure something out with the wide receiver. They can't have guys injured that much. They can't. There can't be that many guys banged up in the wide receiver room. Something's going on. Fix it. Figure it out. Get off it. Get guys healthy. That's the only thing I can think of. Stevie says, yes. Okay, will these be pushed back until after the Thunder games? We haven't discussed that yet. And it kind of depends on where the Thunder are playing, when they're playing. You know, some games will play at 7, some it'll be over by 9:30. Some games will be late games, won't start till 9 or 9:30. So we'll figure that out as it comes along. Hey, probably the craziest news of the day, guys, and this has nothing to do with OU, Braden, Giovanni Gibson, the transfer from Pine Bluff, not Jaden Gibson, okay? The biggest story of the day has to be a couple of things. First off, and I'm glad Samurai put this in here. I should have opened the show with it, and I just didn't think about it after watching the Thunder, but awful, awful news. Patrick Fletcher passed away. The dude was just an OU guy. I mean, I don't know. It's all you. When I think of Patrick Fletcher, Crimson and Cream, prayers out. I mean, it's just awful news. I haven't even heard the whole situation, but it's just awful. Very young guy still. Had a whole lot of his life in front of him. So just sad day for sure. So yeah, RIP for sure. And prayers up to his family. Just sad deal. I didn't know what to even think when I saw it today. I was just, I saw a couple people put it out. I think maybe JD Runnels put something out, and just, yeah, it's sad, very sad. The other news is basketball related, but Denver firing their coach Like what? Hunter, maybe help me out if you know more about this, but what the heck? What firing a coach right now who has won a championship? I don't understand that. Did he do something? I mean, what's the deal there? Somebody help me out with that one. That's a head scratcher. It's dumb. It's a head scratcher. I don't get it. It's weird. And Hunter, you laughed at me. You laughed at me 2 days ago when I was like, Thunder may play the Nuggets first round. You still laughing? Because they very well could, especially now with this happening. So be careful what you wish for there. Okay, this is a great topic to talk about tonight. And I love this 918. Thanks for bringing it up. Y'all are going to have to help me out tonight with topics. I'm by myself for a while. Trajan Bridges, Keon Brown. Keon Brown was once an OU commit and ended up leaving. But the Bridges thing, I'm all for second chances. I think you would just have to be very careful with that one. And obviously you discuss it with him, and if you're wanting to even go that route and see where he's at. But Keon Brown too, I'm for it. I'm for revisiting that. I sure am. Hey, Dave, man, Dave, the streak continues. Super Dave McGenius, Dave McGenerous. I mean, appreciate it so much. Really do, Dave. Means a lot. Thank you so much. Just really appreciate it, man. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know, Platone. I don't understand it. I haven't heard the reason. I think it's weird. The 2 new basketball transfers. Yeah, he's not as tall as Fears, and he's not going to be as good as Fears. Nigel Pack's a good player. The latest I saw in Jeremiah Fears may be number 5. I mean, he's way up there. Yeah, I've heard about this book as well, Samurai Sooner. I don't think you bring in both Dalpos. I think you probably bring in one or the other if you're going to do it, but we'll see. I don't know do you guys think Brent Venables would go down that route with Trajan Bridges? Now, you remember he brought Harrington back, made him work back. Now, could you see a scenario like that where, remember, Harrington came back, but basically BV said, hey, man, you're going to have to walk on. Like, we don't have a scholarship. Could you see a scenario where they did that with Bridges, or do you think Bridges would even want to consider that? Or do they just go after him for a regular scholarship? I don't know. So I remember the thing with Harrington when he came back, it was a very, basically BV said, hey, if you want to do this, we don't have a spot. So you're going to have to come on as a walk-on. 2018, I'm trying to think that year. That would have been, gosh, was it 18? I want to say 19, but it might have been 18. Has it been that long? 19 is what I want to say. I kind of wanted to say 19, but I may be wrong. Hunter says 19 too, so maybe I'm right. And this is Zayas, good point. There's a couple of things I would, if he does not go to OU, there's a couple places I could see him going. You ready for this? I could see him, going out there with Riley if he wanted to consider. The other place would be, how about this one? Shane Beamer. Shane Beamer out in South Carolina. Maybe that. Greg God says Georgia. Yeah, Georgia. I mean, that might be a good fit there. I mean, I don't think many big time schools like Georgia are going after him right now. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't follow as close as a lot of y'all. But yeah, that's how you respond in a game that didn't mean anything, according to a lot of people. I think it mattered. I'm going to say that again. I think it mattered. What's funny is, hey, I'm gonna say something. At Missouri, that's a good one. I'm going to say something. And I'm not going to call out any names. I'm not going to do that. But for the people that think that this game didn't matter, and for the people that think, oh, well, the Thunder have lost 2 in a row, no big deal, whoop-de-doo, it doesn't matter. These games don't matter. They'll turn it on in the playoffs. I'm just going to tell you, take your Thunder glasses off, okay? You're wrong on it, okay? Because the Thunder record, you ready for this? The Thunder record against the Lakers, the Rockets, the Nuggets, and the Warriors, all teams you might face in the playoffs, and you probably will if you get through the West, going into the night was 7-7. So you can You can hide behind the fact that they've been dominating everyone they have. But nope, and do not say any part of you wants the Lakers. I know you don't if you're a Thunder fan. Come on. Hunter Jackson, you guys, you can't say you want the Lakers in the playoffs. That matchup, I'm telling you, they allowed 72 points again tonight in the first half against the Lakers, guys. And you know what? It's thunder-colored glasses is what it is. You don't want to admit that they might have a tough matchup or two in the playoffs. I'm sorry. Warriors would be tough. Lakers would be tough. And you know what? The Thunder have to do something when they play the Lakers. You cannot. I know they like to switch everything. You cannot switch on Luka. You cannot have Hartenstein or Holmgren on him. You got to keep Wallace you cannot switch it, period. They put up a 72 spot on the Thunder tonight in the first half. Yeah, I don't understand it, Colin. I'll never understand. I don't know what's going on. Hardly any team I want in the West. Yeah, Greg. So you're a true Thunder. You're Greg God. You're seeing it too. Then you're saying, hey, there's going to be some tough matchups. Some of these people think Thunder walk through everybody. I don't believe it. I don't. And for the people that can sit here and say that this game didn't matter to the Thunder, did you watch the game? Shea looked like it mattered. J-Dub looked like it mattered. Hartenstein looked like it mattered. So stop saying the game didn't matter. It's hogwash. I know it doesn't matter in the standings or where you end up. You're going to be the 1 seed. The game mattered. I'm so tired of the people that saying this game didn't matter. I'm so tired. That's hiding behind the excuse they got beat the other night. The game mattered the other night too on Sunday night. Please. The game mattered. Anybody playing the game mattered. Please stop it, people. Jeez. Colin says, heard today his ankle got rolled up on by Burks. Can't coach that. And that's, I don't think that's the injury that people are talking about as far as strength and conditioning. I think it's the rest of the guys that are, quote, injured or banged up or whatever you want to say. And you can't really, there's nothing you can do about a guy getting rolled up on or a fluke play, but it's the rest of it. And that's the frustrating thing. And they got to figure it out. Point blank, got to figure it out. Because you can't go in. I know people say, well, they got depth this year at wide receiver. Yeah, they got more depth at wide receiver. Well, do you still want 5 wide receivers injured? No, you don't. Nobody does. I don't think it was Burks. He's been sitting out of live practice 9-1-8. One of the many 9-1-8 that have been sitting out, sounds like. Larry says Burks has been practicing. I don't know. I'm not there, so I can't really comment who's been practicing, who hasn't been. But anyway, man, it seems like there was something else I was going to get to tonight. I'm trying to think of what it was. Oh, OU baseball. Jeez, Dallas Baptist University they just own Oklahoma in baseball. They do. And OU cannot score offensively in baseball. I don't know what's going on offensively. They got a lot of these guys from last year, and they still can't score. I don't get it. They're in a slump right now, I guess, is what you could chalk it up to. One of two things. The baseball team, you chalk up to one of two things. You chalk it up to they're in a slump, or you chalk it up to they're playing tougher competition and they're not very good right now. And I don't know which one to say yet. I'm not going to sit here and say it because I don't know. Michael said, now what? This is an interesting thought. Michael says all wide receivers should have the blue jersey on. I disagree. I think you got to have guys go through contact. It's just, and baseball is fizzling out right now. Coconut Greg, good to see you on here, man. It is fizzling out, and they got to get it back together before SEC gets farther into the season here. Yeah, you can't put a blue jersey on them. You can't do that. I think a lot of the thing would be, okay, what is the strength and conditioning, the training of the wide receivers, and is that affecting them at all? Is it? Because here's the thing. I've been on some teams at work and different places where you do deep dives into situations. You know what happens in most jobs? When something doesn't go well, you look at it, you debrief it, you see what's causing it, and you get it fixed the next year. Well, last year they had injuries at wide receiver. This year, we're not even the spring game, which there won't be one. It's the Crimson Combine. But you know what? We're starting to see some of the same deal. So all I'm saying is got to figure some things out. You can't have 5 receivers hurt again. Can't happen. I don't know what you do, but it can't happen. What's up, Big Orange? Hope you're doing good. Gray God says, what sophomore wide receiver are y'all expecting to make jump next year? I would say Carry On. Carry On's the guy I'm looking for. I think Carry On in the bowl game, I know it was Navy, but I think Carry On's a guy. I think the size he's got, I think it's what they need. They got a lot of young receivers. They got a lot of smaller receivers. Carry On's the one I think they need to step up. I think Carry On's the one. He would be mine. I think he's got the build you need for SEC. You need one of those big receivers like that. And I'm hoping he can be that guy. Hopefully he's not banged up. Hopefully he's going to be able to play, right? That's the hope anyway. Carry On, my wayward son. That's a good nickname. Remember Chris Berman? Zion. Chris Berman used to have some great nicknames. He probably used that one. Zaya says Zion. Kearney or Reagans? I think you mean Kearney since that was thrown up there earlier, but either one. But I would, out of those two, I would say Kearney. If you're going to give me the choice of the Zions, I would say Kearney. But out of all of the sophomores, I would say Carry On. Now, Marcus, what's up, Marcus? How are you tonight? He says 10 out of 13 wide receivers have some sort of injury, according to Thune. Well, I'm sure there's a lot of guys banged up right now, but how bad are the injuries? That's my question. And this is why whenever Brent Venables, I don't know what day it'll be. When is he going to talk to the media again? Is it going to be Saturday after the Crimson Combine? It'd be nice if they gave some updates to some of these guys. Because I do think that helps with the fan base. Hey, give something. What's up, Marcus? Give something. Give us something. Coconut Greg, if OU has not reevaluated how they practice and train the wide receiver, then it's a total failure. I agree, Greg. I agree. That's why I was bringing it up earlier. It's like a job, like in the workplace. You always, no matter what you do, if you do an event, if you do a big event you put together, you always look at some positives and negatives. What can you do better for next year? And if they're having the same issues, that's concerning. It's concerning to me. Very concerning. I just, and when you think about it, yeah, the injury's like a broken leg. I get you can't do nothing about it, but it's the other ones that you gotta figure out what's going on. Patrick Fletcher, we talked about it earlier, just awful news. Yeah, hit the like. I would appreciate it. Jeremy would appreciate it. Hunter, everyone, Jackson, they would all appreciate it. So please do that. Yeah, what else is on your mind tonight? It's a weird time because usually on this week leading up to the spring game, which is usually a spring game, I get pretty excited just as a fan because going down to Norman, watching a somewhat, even though the last few years it hasn't been that way, but somewhat scrimmage of a game. But this year I'm just not. And I don't know because I don't know what they're going to do. I think that's it. Like, I mean, do you guys, are they going to put something out exactly with a schedule? Maybe I've missed it because I have been really busy and I haven't looked at everything on Twitter. Have they put an actual, like, what kind of stuff they're going to do? Please help me out here because I know I've seen some time frames of like autograph sessions and fan things and that sort of thing. But anything as far as what the players are going to do when they're on the field, I can't expect it being much. And now you have all these injuries, supposedly. I guess you won't be able to tell who's injured and who's not because probably none of them will have pads on. And this is I'm so glad you brought this up, Gray God. Braden, yeah, softball Bedlam tomorrow night. Went from around 30 recruits visiting for spring game in the past, only 12 reading. This is a great topic. Thanks, Gray God. Let's get up to this. Before we do, check out the FanStop. www.thefanstop.com. Code SURGE, you get 10% off your first 3 months. There's the shirt of the month for May. Order by April 20th. You'll get that and your welcome shirt. Make sure you do it. It's great stuff. Locally owned. Check out this hat too. I mean, who doesn't like that hat? Maybe Hook'em Horns doesn't. Maybe KB Longhorn doesn't. Maybe Bevo's Bodyguard doesn't. Maybe Chris doesn't. But most of the rest of y'all would like that. But this is a great point. Great topic, Gray God. In your opinion, guys and gals in the chat, is this no spring game going to hurt recruiting? I would love to know your take on this. And Longhorns are doing the same thing. Other teams are doing the same thing. What are your thoughts on that? Now, I do think, Dalpos, this is a great point too. And what is crazy is 2-3 years ago when BV came on board, he remember them wanting to pack the palace, baby. Pack the freaking palace. This game matters. This game matters to recruits. It matters to everybody. That's what they used to say. Well, now apparently it doesn't. So, and Greg, that's a good point. If a lot of the other big schools are skipping it, then it probably doesn't hurt recruiting that much. But if you have teams like Georgia still doing a spring game, are they not? I think they are. KB says 42 recruits on campus in Texas. I think it could be how you're doing. Yeah, you guys need to play your game so we can finish that up, Greg and Talon. Hey, I think it depends on what you do. I think there's a way with the Crimson Combine, whatever they're calling it. You could get recruits there with some other things and probably get maybe even it might be more valuable. You have more time with them and stuff without the spring game. It just depends on how you do it and what you do for the weekend. I think anybody that went to a spring game as a recruit, they know that atmosphere is not as a game day atmosphere. You'd be kidding yourself if you went to any spring game and thought that's an electric game atmosphere. Now, with that being said, I'm going to give it up to Shane Beamer. I like Shane Beamer. I like him a lot because I think Shane Beamer says whatever's on his mind. And I love that. Just like, hey, this podcast that tells it like it is, Shane Beamer tells it like it is. And what he did this spring game, genius. I love it. They're having a spring game. And they're doing it on Friday night. And I absolutely love it. I think it's great. You're going to have a nighttime spring game in that stadium, probably with a huge crowd. I think it's great. I think it's really good. And you know what? Hearing him talk about the reasons why he did it and why he kept it is he said, hey, there's a lot of people that go to the spring game that can't make it to a regular game. And this is for the fans. I want the fans to be able to come to the game and feel like a game time atmosphere. I think it's great. I think it's great that he's doing it. But not every team's going to do that. Obviously, we're seeing it this year. I'm going to be 67 in August. Never heard of not having a spring game. Can't fathom it till this year. That's right. Oh, that's just a weekend. Okay, it's like a big recruiting week. I got you. Who needs to step up wide receiver now with the injuries? Well, tell me who's available, Colin, and I can tell you an answer. But I mentioned Carry-On earlier. You know, maybe a freshman's going to have to step up there. If it is, I'd probably say Elijah Thomas. But you look at, you know, if Deion Burke's healthy, he's going to have a massive year. We don't know on Jaden Gibson. No, don't really know anything on that situation. This team needs a big receiver, guys and gals. That's why I think Carry-On. You need a receiver that has some size to him. I'm sorry. I'm not very big myself, so I'm not going to sit here and, it's not like I'm ripping small people and short people or anything, but this team needs some size at wide receiver. They just do because tight end's not a strength of this team. I can do phone by myself, and I'll be opening up the lines here probably in a couple minutes, KB. But they definitely need some size out there. And I think, and it was Gibson before the injury. That's right. But Gray got good point. Yeah, must get. Absolute must get. You got legacy Teddy Lehman from Fort Gibson. You got to land Cooper Hackett, period. End of discussion. There's nothing else. If you don't land him, it's an epic fail. You got to land him, I think. Got to. But yeah, hey, Hunter, go ahead and open the phone lines if you would. Go and get that link in there. We'll talk to the people out there, the Sooner Surgeaholics, whatever you want to talk about. There's the link. But You know what? I just think they need some size out there. I just do. And, we saw what happened last year. You get an SEC play, physical play at wide receiver. You get guys trying to bump you at the line. You need some physical guys up there, at least in one or two positions. Got a couple callers already on the line. We're going to start off with Platone 20, then followed by KB. What's up, Platone? How are you tonight? Platone, you there? You there, Platone? Lost Platone. Let's get to KB. What's up, KB?
You doing all right?
Yeah, man. How are you tonight?
Good. Hey, bear with me here. It's kind of it's not lengthy, but a short version. Did you see they had a deal on OTF today, and they had an attorney on there, and they made some of the rulings today on the lawsuit with the NCAA?
I heard a little bit that they made a
Man,
ruling. I don't know a whole lot about it.
That's crazy. So, real quick, you ought to go over and check it out. Y'all can fast forward through all the other stuff, but the attorney part of it's pretty good. He's involved in it or privy to it or something. It's firsthand. It's not secondhand information. But anyway, I guess they're going to. She didn't approve it today, but she wants them to take two issues back. She wants them to. It's a 10-year deal, and she says she doesn't think that's fair because that includes 9 and 10-year-olds right now that that are going to come up to it. And the second thing was rosters and scholarships, and it made it sound like that there's not going to be any walk-ons, that everybody on your roster had to have a scholarship or a partial, because they were talking about they needed to make that change. She thinks they need to make that change over the next 2 years and incorporate it instead of doing it all at once. And so this attorney said the problem is, and they have a third party involved, Deloitte, and they are going to, let's take Fasusi, for instance, with y'all. You get him NIL or pay him or whatever you're going to do, then it has to go to this company, Deloitte, and they say whether there's enough money there or it's too much money.
I don't like it.
I don't either. But he said what's going to happen is basically they've kicked this can down the road with that in there, because a donor, say somebody that owns a company, is going to come in and say, man, we really need this guy. He can be a spokesman for my company, and we'll do commercials, and I'll pay him $2 million. And if that company says, no, you can't do that, that's too much, that's over market value, they're going to start suing, because they're going to go, who are you to tell me how much I can pay or not?
It's going to be lawsuits, and if not, all you're going to do is they're going to do under the table. They'll make the deal under the table.
Exactly. And so he said in about 3 weeks, they'll probably sign it. But after that, you can expect the lawsuits to start coming in over this third-party deal.
Yeah, it's going to be nuts, KB.
That's crazy, man.
It's going to be absolute nuts. The roster limit stuff, I know Hunter put in here, roster limit's going to be crazy. It's a mess.
Yeah, they made it. He didn't come out and say that, but he said you have to trim your rosters down, and NCAA wants to do them at 1 year. And the judge says, y'all need to go back and figure that out, or come back with an argument to change my mind. But I think it needs to be over 2 or 3 years. And he said, and then he followed that up with, because you have to have scholarships or partial scholarships. So I'm assuming, with that being said, that eliminates the walk-on.
Yeah.
Because they're having to trim down everything, however many they want to carry.
Down.
Yeah. I mean, they carry however many, but you got to have that many scholarships or partials.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's correct. I mean, that's just. I think
that's nuts, man. I'm going to have to read that when we get off here. I want to look into that a little more.
It's on OTF. Like I said, you can fast forward it through where, but it's a guy named Mitt something, and he's some attorney out of Kansas. There was a basketball player for Kansas State.
Yeah.
And anyway, he's involved in that stuff. It's pretty good. It was a mess.
Okay, I'll check it out, man. Good stuff, KB.
All right, y'all have a good night.
Hey, thanks, man. You too. I think we got Platone 20 back. What's up, Platone?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right. I enjoyed the Thunder game. I thought they showed a lot of fight, especially considering the last game where it just felt like they didn't show up at all. I'm still not looking forward to playing the Lakers, though. I just feel like they're more versatile than we are. If you take a 10-game series, I feel like they can figure out more ways to win over a 7 or a 10 game progression than we can. That's just the way I see it. But I was encouraged by the our guys just look small. They look small. You saw, Luka and LeBron going up against Caruso. Now, don't get me wrong, Caruso's a good defender, but man, it just looks bad. They have their length on the wings.
Well, they are. They're very long. You know who I really like for the Lakers? I didn't know a whole lot of that Jackson Hayes kid.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Jackson Hayes looks every bit as good as Isaiah Hartenstein does. I mean, like, and I don't know. He was better than I thought. One other thing I wanted to mention too is about Patrick Fletcher. I went to school with him, so I moved to Norman in '95, and so I met him at Norman High School. He was one of the first people I met. And as a new kid coming from out of town, I just want to say that he was an absolutely awesome guy. The very first class I was in, he could tell I was new. He was very nice. He introduced me to all his friends, things like that. He didn't have to do that, and I remember him from being the football player that he was. But what I remember more than that is the type of man that he was. So I just want to throw that out here. Great loss.
That's an awesome story, Platone. Appreciate you sharing that, man. Thank you so much. Yeah, great loss. Everything I've heard about him, he's just unbelievable guy he was. So it is a sad day for sure. Before we get to calling, I got to say something. I see a lot of the Bridges stuff. Why would OU not go after Bridges? I'm sorry. Like, you go talk to him, very talented kid. Give a guy a second chance if he's changed. I don't understand it. He's playing well where he's been. I don't know why you wouldn't entertain the idea. If you don't want to go at personality-wise, you at least entertain it and see if it would be a good fit. But definitely you go after him. Why would you not? You already have an in there because he played at Oklahoma. I think, yes, sign me up. Please. I loved watching him play when he was in high school and then at OU for that, year. Hey, Colin, what's up, Colin?
What's up? How are you?
How are you, man?
Good. Again, I'll talk OU and OKC Thunder. I'll first start with OU. I think compared to last year's injuries, yes, it killed us in the offense and everything. But I think this year, yes, of course, injuries suck anywhere. But I think with Jackson Arnold running the offense in a new scheme, I think it would allow more receivers to step up compared to last year. So I don't think it will be as big of an issue seen on the field. Yes, there may be some talent drop off, but I still think we have good receivers that could step up. Because I saw something that I agreed with. It was like Jackson Arnold was just trying to run the plays, execute the plays. He wasn't trying to like understand what was happening. He was just trying to execute his plays, hit the read without doubt. And Jackson Arnold and Mateer is more of an analyzer where if he sees something, he'll change it and help his receivers more.
I get that point, and I understand where you're coming from for sure. What I would say, though, is yes, there wouldn't be as big of a drop-off as last year, but I think if this team doesn't have a big physical receiver, I think it's not very – I think it'll be in trouble. I think the offense needs that weapon that can go up and just be one-on-one near the end zone, go up and get it. They don't with Gibson being out. Who knows about the other Gibson? I mean, who's your size right now at wide receiver? You know what I mean? It's going to have to carry on, or I mean, you go down the list, but a lot of them aren't the tall, physical receivers. That would be my only concern. That would be my big concern.
I think carry on's like our only healthy person right now, but I do think Gibson will be healthy. The other Gibson, Jaden Gibson, by the time. Because I know he's set to spring out. And maybe that's what we do more, even though I kind of hate it because you want to get people reps, but maybe sit more of your, like, starters for, like, spring camp.
Yeah, you might have to.
Or, like, just do less and have it more of a, like, younger people having more practice and more reps.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the other guys already kind of proven. Like, we already know what Burks is and how good he is and whatnot.
Yeah, good point.
And then with the Thunder, I think, as I told my friends the other day, it's going to be how they respond to this game tonight, which would define, I feel like, how I'd feel going into the playoffs. And I think we made the right adjustments.
But do you see? I'm kind of different. I don't really feel that much better because here's why. That game, they were trailing when Luka was in. Luka went out and they went on their run.
Yeah,
that's a fact. I mean, Luka got ejected, and then they went on their big run.
And then I think we can only say, oh, the Lakers are not going to shoot that well every game like so many times because it happened back-to-back games. And A guy on the Lakers, I know you guys were talking about this, that surprised me. I know you guys said Jackson Hayes, but Austin Reeves.
Austin Reeves is really
He
good.
just
I
kept
would have never thought he would have
drilling
been this good.
threes.
I didn't
on
think
us.
he'd be this good because he was their go-to guy when Luka went out. They weren't even
No.
going to LeBron. They were going to Austin Reeves.
But I think
Jeez.
the difference in this game was our offense was able to keep up, at least with Lakers offense, and then we were just able to make defensive plays down late in the game. But of course,
Yeah.
But if you're Luka, you have to really control your emotions there, because I know he's always
Yeah,
had a
you
bad
can't do
rep
it.
with the refs, and even though he was talking to fans in the OKC, refs in the playoffs and even that are gonna think you're talking to them, and you already have one. And that's
Yeah.
the big thing about the Thunder. You don't see them really arguing with the refs. They just go back and play defense.
That's true. That's true. Hey, appreciate it, Colin.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one. Hey, okay, Hunter. 1-point game. Gosh, man, get the Thunder glasses off, man. It was a tight game. They might have lost. Is all I'm saying. And the last thing I'll say is for everybody, and then I'm going to get to Okie Lawn. For everybody that's sitting there saying, well, they can't shoot the ball that well every game. You same people that said that were saying the same thing last year against Dallas in the playoffs, and they kept shooting it well. And Thunder lost. So whatever, it can happen. Okie, what's up?
Well, it's Groundhog Day once again for the Sooners in L. Del Mitchell Park as we lose the game 9-1.
Hey, did you expect them to beat Dallas Baptist? I didn't. Come on, Okie. You didn't expect that win tonight, did you? They can't beat Dallas Baptist, man. Here's what needs to happen when Oklahoma baseball plays Dallas Baptist, and it should not be Oklahoma versus DBU. It should be Oklahoma versus DPU. I mean, when OU plays Dallas Baptist, they put a stinker game out. PU every time. Bad. No offense right now, Okie. No offense. What I saw a stat. You correct me if I'm wrong, because you follow baseball a lot closer than I do. They haven't scored an earned run in over like 30 innings or something, right?
Yeah, like 32 innings.
Unbelievable.
It's very unbelievable, to be honest with you.
Hey, I got to ask you. I saw you in the
Skip
chat.
Johnson go ahead. Yeah.
I saw you in the chat over here saying, why would they go after Bridges? Why would they not? Why would you not go after him? Can you think of a better storyline than Trajan Bridges coming back to Oklahoma, having a massive year, going to the NFL or something? Wouldn't that be awesome? Wouldn't you love that?
Okay, you got me there. Hook, line, and sinker. Okay.
But wouldn't that be great?
It would actually be a good story.
I'm for second chances, Okie. I'm for
Yeah,
it.
I'm all about second chances too. You just hope that it works out. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
That's true. That's true.
I guess that's the risk that's the risk that you take.
Yep.
But I think that they've built a culture with BB. I think BB's built a culture good enough there that I think that what I've heard, like them talk about on the radio and stuff, like Teddy and Tyler, they've talked about how the players are starting to police. The team is starting to police itself, basically.
Which is, I kind of heard that about the Devon Mitchell. The captains and the leaders were kind of wanting him gone because he wasn't doing anything. It's kind of like a player really didn't want him on there either. So yeah, you're right. I think the players are, leading a lot of it. And I think if he was to come back to OU, he would. I don't think he would have any issues. I mean, I can't say this for a fact, but I don't think he would have any off the field issues. And the guy's talented enough to play at OU.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we could look back in his days at OU and saying, they were just kids, really. I mean, golly, it's crazy to think that he was Trajan Bridges. What was it? Bridges, Weiss,
Seth McGowan, Mikey Henderson.
Who?
Seth McGowan and Mikey Henderson are the ones that were in trouble. Is that what you're talking about? Or the receivers?
No. I'm talking about those three core receivers. It was
Theo Weiss and Jaden Hazel.
Oh, there we go. Hazelwood, Bridges, and
in Weiss.
Weiss, yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, where was Theo coming from when he left to go to Missouri? Where did he transfer from? Was that OU?
OU, yes. And he
Oh,
had a good career when he went to Missouri. He ended up kind of doing a lot better there. So, hey, the change of scenery is good. I mean, hey, you can't just say that Trajan Bridges coming back to. It's not like he just stopped playing football. He's had to like go play at some small little schools, man. He had to work his way back, and he's done it.
I guess I'm surprised that he still has eligibility as he's been working himself back, though. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that would have been 2019. You have the COVID year, and so I mean, he's got one more year left. So
You think Nagy's going to be willing to? Because I mean, he's doesn't it all hinge on Nagy now? I mean, he is the GM.
I mean, he has a big say in probably roster management. So he would have a say in it. So it'll be interesting to see, Okie.
Has Oklahoma contacted him?
Somebody said that they've talked to him here. So we'll see. We'll find out in the near future for sure. So,
well, let's hope that OU offense comes alive because there's Vanderbilt coming into town. So
yeah, doesn't get any easier. That's for sure.
It does not get any easier. Well, thanks for taking my call, and Boomer Sooner.
Hey, thanks, Okie. Appreciate it. Have a good night, man. And I see Keon Brown here that 918 put in. Yeah, and that's another one. That's another good name. Is that Germ on here? Germ, you here?
I've been here listening.
Oh, what's up, man? How are you?
I'm good, man.
Good. We got a couple other callers on the line. Let's get to them, man. We got Sooner-thron followed by Jackson. What's up, Sooner-thron?
Hey, gentlemen, how are you?
Good. You?
Good. Yeah, I was going to throw a little bit on the Bridges thing. My daughter, she graduates here May 31st from Hebron, and she was a freshman, and his little brother played at Hebron, was a starting wide receiver. And that year, I used to see Bridges at all his games, and he had his ankle bracelet on. So I guess they let him. That was pretty much, that would have been the fall of 21, because they got arrested. They got arrested in like March of 21. So that was right after. So, that was really stupid what those guys did. But but the other guy, Mikey Henderson, I think he played like 2 years at Tarleton State and finished up. And then McGowan, he actually sat out 3 seasons, didn't play at all since OU. But he was the second leading rusher for New Mexico State, and he's projected to be the starter the next 2 years.
Yeah, and hey, he was going to be unreal. I think
he was blazing fast. He was
fast, and his size, he was a monster, man.
Yeah, McGowan was because Mikey and McGowan were a year behind Bridges. They were freshmen, and Bridges. But those are 3 guys that would have really contributed to the offense either that year and possibly on with Gabriel and everything.
That's true.
I was going to actually on the hoops, kind of interesting, because tomorrow the Lakers come to Dallas, and that's Luka's first return. And, I have a friend that she's known the Cuban family for a long time, so she has like all these connections, and she said they have like some really big stuff set up. I don't really know how much, but some kind of special things for them, which I don't know what the crowd's going to be like, because people are still so pissed off about that. But
but they're going to love Luka.
They're going to give him a standing ovation, guys.
Oh yeah,
they're going to get a standing ovation.
Absolutely. It's just you might hear the other right after the fire Nico chant, because that was happening for several games.
And it's an important game too.
Yeah, it's a big game for Dallas. For Dallas, it's a huge game because it's pretty much Dallas. It's not really, to be honest. Now that I think of it, I just looked at the standings. I don't think it.
Not sure what happened. Sooner-thron, I think we lost you. I think we lost Sooner-thron. I don't know what happened. Lost the connection or something. Hey, Sooner-thron, thanks for calling in, man. Appreciate it. I don't know what's going on Is it my end, Jerm, or do you hear anything?
I can hear you fine.
Okay, I don't know if it was connection with Soonerthron where he's at, but hey, appreciate it, Soonerthron, calling in. Appreciate it. I think we got one more caller here, and then we'll get to some stuff. Jackson, what's up?
Hey Jay, I'm here to talk with you about the Thunder.
Okay, bring it. I know what you're going to say. I've been waiting on this all night.
To me, I don't get your point about saying that the Thunder, these losses matter at the end of
Hey,
the
Jackson,
season
real
to the
quick.
Lakers.
Jackson, did this game matter tonight to the Thunder?
To the Thunder, yes, but
to the players. Wait, to the players.
Yes.
So if they would have lost,
I would hope every single game is going to matter to an NBA player when they do that for their job.
So why do people say the game doesn't matter? It absolutely matters.
Because the Thunder have clinched the first seed. They don't have anything else to prove in the regular season.
They weren't trying.
I never said they weren't trying, Jason.
So
that
listen,
never came out of my mouth.
Jackson, answer this. If you're trying as hard as you can and you lose, that doesn't affect you mentally that you're losing to the team?
No, because they have nothing else to prove until the playoffs.
It absolutely does.
It doesn't. Hey, Jay, do the Thunder have anything else left to prove at this point in the regular season?
Yeah, they got to prove that they can beat these teams. They're 7-7 against those 4 teams I mentioned, Jackson.
Oh my gosh. Okay,
they are. It's a fact.
Okay.
It's not. Jackson. It's a fact.
Hey, and you know how many times they weren't healthy whenever they played those teams? The majority of times.
Okay, Jackson. So you're not. There's not one team in the West you're concerned about. The Thunder are just going to roll through the playoffs and they're not going to lose a game, right?
The team that concerns me the most is the Warriors.
So you right now against the Lakers, you're picking Thunder in how many games?
In 6.
That's a tight series, man. Going 6 games, but
I mean, it is, but also you're not just going to sweep a team.
It's ridiculous. The people that can't see that these games matter. Okay, that's all I'm saying. It does not matter in the standings.
I'm not saying
it does not matter in the standings. I'm not saying that, but the game matters to the players. You can tell it. They're going as hard as they can go.
Well,
dude.
I would hope the game matters to the players, dude. They're getting paid to do this. The Thunder,
if you lose on a game, you're trying as hard as you can. It matters.
And they try as hard as they can every single game. Do they not?
Yeah, and you lose games, Jackson.
Yeah, it means nothing at this point in the season. If it was game 10 of the season, I would say it means a lot more than it does now.
If the Lakers would have went in there and they did what they wanted to do, the Lakers were pretty much right with the Thunder with Luke in. The Lakers were at the timeouts. They were walking onto the court with half their team. They were acting like they were bullying the Thunder. That's what they're mentally right now. They feel like they can beat the Thunder easy. They feel that way, Jackson. You're wrong if you don't think it does. They feel that way. So
I wouldn't say that they feel like they can beat him easily, Jay.
I think they feel like if they got a series with the Thunder, they would win. I do think that.
The disappointing thing, look,
Jay,
I'm going to tell you a fact. Now I'm going to tell you facts, and you may disagree or not, but the Lakers can't defend. Now the sorry thing is the Thunder haven't been defending well, but the Lakers
72 points in the first half they allowed.
What?
They allowed 72 in the first half tonight,
and the Lakers allowed 80, didn't they?
Correct.
Yeah.
So my point is, Jay, in a 7-game series, they're going to have a very difficult time stopping the Thunder. Now I do understand. The disappointing thing for the Thunder has been the defense. It's been bad.
Yeah, it is. Hey, thanks for the call, Jackson. We'll get to the next one. Let's get to Greg. Let's get to Greg real quick. What's up, Coconut Greg?
Hey, fellas. How you doing?
Good, man. You?
Doing well. So
Good.
Jackson brought up the question, do the Thunder have anything to prove? Absolutely. We're already kind of viewed as a paper dragon in the playoffs. Like, do you want to be giving these teams that we are closely matched with, have given us problems, do we want to give them a spark of confidence right before we enter the playoffs? No. Like, a lot of these teams and the media and such don't think that we're going to hold this momentum into the playoffs.
You're right.
Now's the time to set the tone for what you're going to do in the playoffs. And yeah, the last thing I want to be doing is giving any of these other teams that we struggle with the idea that they can compete with us. So they need to put pedal to the metal every night and win by as many points as they can.
Yeah, you're right. You know what? Can you imagine losing back-to-back home games right before the playoffs against a team that you have to beat in the playoffs? You think that's not going to give them any confidence?
Jay, I agree with Greg and what he's saying in this. And now look, in the end, these games don't mean anything when the playoffs start because it's 0-0. But also, that's the case for every team. Now, there are three teams, Jay, in the West that any Thunder fan should be a little concerned about. And I'll tell you why. Because like Greg said, the paper dragon analogy, until the Thunder, and you can't tell me the players on the Thunder aren't thinking, well, we win 68 games or whatever it is, but none of that matters. I don't care if they get to 68. It does not matter. The only thing that's going to matter and have any ramifications is what they do in the playoffs. And in the playoffs, you got old heads like LeBron and Luka. They're not going to be scared of anyone.
Luka's old.
Jokic is, they've been there and done that, and they're going to have a new head coach. And then the other one is the Warriors because of Jimmy Butler and Curry and Draymond Green. These are teams that have been in it. The players have been in it. Those three are any other team, no, not scared at all. Not scared at all.
Agreed. Yeah, I mean this has been in the works a long time. We haven't been to the finals since 2012. The last time we got close to it, we got embarrassed by the Warriors in the Western Conference Finals. And it's like now it's time to just wrap it up. I mean,
I'm with you, Greg. I see Greg.
Yeah. Hopefully we can do it. I think the team has a real chance to do it, but now it's where we find out what we really have and what we're really made of. So bring us a ring.
That's right. Appreciate it. I want the parade to happen. Let's go. Hey,
Always.
thanks, Greg. Yep. See you later. Hey, Germ. There was something I saw in here I was wanting to get to. Was there anything on your mind that you wanting to say? Are you there, Germ? I don't know if Germ's there. I might have lost him.
Keeps going in and out on me.
Oh, really? Okay. Hey, what are your thoughts on Trajan Bridges? Jeremy's not there, so I don't think he's there. So, yeah, there is not very many games that separate at all. And you know what? I'm going to say this. If the Thunder are going to win the championship and they're going to make it to the finals, you can sit on there and tell me it's all in Shea's hands. I disagree. I think Shea's going to do what Shea does, and I think he's going to play great. I think the success of the Oklahoma City Thunder in the playoffs rests on one person, and that's J-Dub. Because every other team, you got LeBron and Luka. You got Jimmy Butler and Steph Curry. You got you could go to Nuggets. You got Jokic and Murray. I mean, the Thunder have to have Shea and J-Dub. They got to have J-Dub. He played good tonight, and they won. But he's got to be more consistent. In the playoffs, he's got to get his points. He's got to get his points when Shea's out. He's got to be that guy that takes over when Shea's out. He's going to have a really good playoff run, I think, for them to get all the way to the finals. I just think he will. Yeah, great record against the East. They've only lost one game all year. They lost one game against the East all year long. And this is a fact. They have never won. A young team this young has never won the championship. You're right. Got to get through this bloodbath, then face the Seas. It's going to be a hard run. And that's why I just think a lot of people think they're just going to waltz in there and just, it's not going to be a big deal. And I hear this a lot too. Okay. I hear this all the time. Who's going to beat the Thunder 4 out of 7? They've only lost 14 games all year. Who's going to beat them 4 out of 7 games? You could say that to a lot of teams in history. Okay. You wouldn't think teams would lose 4 out of 7, and they do. So it can happen. It can happen for sure. So I see corrections asking for the phone link there. Yeah, they did the best record. I understand. And now they have, I don't know if did the Rockets play tonight or not, but the Thunder had a 2-game lead over the Rockets over the Cavs. Sorry, the Cavs for the best record in the league, which would mean home court advantage throughout the playoffs. So What's up, Corrections? How you doing tonight, man?
Good. How you doing, man?
Doing well, doing well.
So Trayvon Bridges, it's not like, why wouldn't you entertain that? Maybe the interest isn't there from Trayvon, but at least talk to him about it and see if it's a good fit. I mean, why, they keep popping up Soul Mission and everything. If you're not willing to give a young man a second chance after, it was really stupid what he was a part of that, got him into trouble, but it wasn't like something just over the top ridiculous, And if we're not in the business of giving people second chances, just get rid of Soul Mission, because what's the point? And I know working in corrections, and I did a year in probation and all that. A lot of employers will tell you that, like, especially first time offenders, nonviolent people that straight out of jail or prison, they're some of the best employees that they have, because they have something to prove. They just want to move on and show that they're a different person. And so it's like, man, if this kid's motivated and just wants to play good ball and have that redemption arc go full circle, why not?
Well, and I think I saw Daniel Brooks put something here, which I thought was very interesting. Corrections. I haven't even thought about it, because I would be all in on if Trajan wants to go there and they want to entertain it, I'd be all for it. But it is interesting, the scenario of, what about Trajan Bridges being back at Oklahoma? How would he feel about? Would that bring up some old stuff? Like, you got to think about that too. Is that something he'd want to, like, go down that road again? Maybe not.
Yeah,
I don't.
And that's a good point. But my point is, and maybe it won't work out. Maybe you talk to him, and there is, kind of a feud or something that's not going to make it work. My only point is, why not entertain it? Talk to him, talk to the team about it. See, how everybody feels about it. Maybe it'll work. Maybe it won't work. Maybe he'll be here. Maybe he won't. But just to flat out say we're not even going to consider him, I think would be a mistake, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. You got to consider everything right now.
Yeah, and I'm like you. I'm all about second chances. People, every person is infallible. We all make mistakes, some bigger than others. But to be a decent human being, I think you have to be forgiving and say, okay, he showed us over the past couple of years that he seems like he's on the straight and narrow, that he's changed, and give the young man a second chance if it's going to work out. Maybe it won't. Maybe there's, like you said, personality issues or whatever. But I just wanted to say too, I'm about ready to lose my mind over this injury stuff. I was listening today, with Gibson, he had that freak injury, and it was reported today that there's nothing that the staff could have done to prevent that. It was just a freak accident, got rolled up on and everything. But the good news is that they're expecting every single scholarship receiver to be 100% healthy going into fall camp. And so I think that says a lot. And I think that, right now everybody just needs to hold their powder dry and just see between now and fall, maybe things change. Maybe they don't. Maybe we just have one receiver out, but it's just the overreaction. And I understand the overreaction because of last year, but, just hold your powder dry and let's just see what happens between now and then.
Yeah, well, hopefully it gets better, because it sounds like they have a lot of guys standing on the sidelines right now. So
yeah, but it's all minor stuff. It's a lot of it's precautionary.
It's mostly minor. I agree.
Yeah, it's minor stuff. You have guys in a walking boot just as a precautionary measure and stuff like that. It's and one of the comments earlier that you read out, it's like, put all these receivers, in blue jerseys, and even the running backs in blue jerseys. Okay, well, how are guys going to get through handling the ball and not fumbling, if they're not used to contact, how are they going to improve on that? We need our defenders, ripping at the ball, learn, so our guys can learn ball security, taking big hits and holding onto the ball. You look at some of our, especially one of our running backs, and we all know who it is. You look at him wrong, he's fumbling the ball. And so the only way he's going to work through that is taking hits and learning to, to hold on to that ball. You can't, it's football. It's a violent sport. There's going to be injuries. You try to minimize them the best you can, but we just, it's football. Everybody has to remember that there's going to be injuries. People are going to get dinged up, and, hopefully it doesn't get as bad as last year. I don't think it will, but we'll see.
Yeah, that's right. Thanks, Corrections, man.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Appreciate it. Have a good night. Hey, a couple comments I want to get to. Daniel says, heard maybe he won't, but I think, like I said earlier, my biggest concern, if both Gibsons are out, you don't have a whole lot of size out there. That would be my biggest concern. Great point by Devin here. Mixon and Dusty Dvorak got second chances, and both turned it into beneficial careers. I mean, look at Dusty Dvorak right now. The dude's killing it. I mean, ESPN just broadcasting. Great for him after his playing career. Look at Joe Mixon. You know what, though? The Trajan Bridges thing is interesting because even if he doesn't choose OU, even talking to OU, maybe that lets another big-time school be like, ooh, OU's considering it. Maybe we should it might help Trajan Bridges get somewhere else, to a bigger school than he was planning on going to. So, yeah, it would be a great ESPN third. That holds, you know what? There was some good stuff in those years that would be great. And Benjamin, I don't know the source. Listen, I don't know. I know it was mentioned in here. I don't know if 918 said it was Thune or Ian Gomez. Somebody said, Ian, I think you put it in here too about Bridges. So I don't know. Dusty, man, we'll get into that another night, but man, chat isn't source. Yeah, I'm not saying the chat. I'm saying they said it was from somewhere else. Yeah, Dusty beat someone up pretty bad, really bad, I think. Maybe they could say where they got it. I'm just basing it off of this. I think somebody said that an inside source said they were talking to him, or at least considering it. So, hey, it's been fun tonight, everybody. Thanks for all the calls. There's been a lot of calls. Thanks for everybody in the chat. You guys have carried it for sure, because I don't talk for an hour without you guys. Promise you. It's hard for me to talk that much. So you guys carried it like you always do with some great topics. All y'all that brought up good topics, appreciate it. So Ian says Thune was talking about on the pod. So there you go. But yeah, I really do appreciate each and every one of you. Dave, thanks for the super. Again, $20 super. Love talking Oklahoma sports. I'm with you. I could talk it every hour. I could talk an hour every night. Oh, wait. We do talk an hour every night because of you guys. Appreciate it. Germ's officially in the portal. Where will he end up? We'll find out soon. I would guess mid-major. If I had to guess, he'd be going to mid-major school. But we'll find out. Maybe not. Hey, appreciate you guys. We'll talk to you tomorrow night. I'll see you then. Talk to you later.